The woman stood up and pushed her husband down the second floor. The ungrateful son said, "It's just the second floor, what could possibly happen to him? Uncle Gu is bleeding." It turned out that the man sitting on the ground was the woman's first love. 3 years ago, the wife, their son, and the wife's first love were kidnapped together. The man brought ransom money to rescue his wife and son, but unexpectedly, because he didn't bring enough, the woman's first love was detained by the kidnappers. When they heard the kidnappers propose a hostage exchange, the mother and son didn't hesitate for a second. They begged the man to take the first love's place, watching his wife, who had never begged him in 20 years of marriage, kneel down to save her first love. The man's heart shattered completely. He thought that after agreeing, they would quickly bring ransom to rescue him. Instead, he was locked up in a compound and tortured for 3 years before he finally got word that his family was coming to ransom him. At that moment, he still thought his wife had finally scraped together enough money, but to his surprise, the person who came to pick him up was the butler from his father's household. In an instant, the man was overwhelmed with disappointment. Years ago, he had given up his status as an heir and cut ties with his father just to be with this woman. Yet in the end, all he got was abandonment by her and their son. The butler had come because the man's father was in declining health and needed him to return to take over the family business. But the man couldn't get past the pain in his heart. He wanted to go home first, to ask his wife for an explanation for abandoning him back then. As soon as he got home, he saw the woman's first love was there too. The first love even urged him to sit down and eat. The three of them got along so harmoniously that they looked like a real family of three. When the first love mentioned that the plate of salmon alone cost $18,080, the man snapped back to reality. He asked the woman, "Now even a casual home-cooked meal is this fancy? Why wouldn't you pay the ransom to save me back then?" Immediately, the woman and their son fell silent. It turned out the first love had persuaded them not to ransom him, saying keeping the money to start a company would secure their future. The absurdity of the reason made the man laugh bitterly. So in their eyes, his life was worth less than wealth and status. The son couldn't stand his father questioning his mother. He immediately snapped his chopsticks in half and accused him. 3 years ago, you were just a house husband. If it weren't for Mom and Uncle Gu working hard outside, you'd be nothing. The only use you ever had was replacing Uncle Gu back then. What he didn't know was that it had been the woman who begged him to quit his job and take care of the house. In that moment, the man seemed to get the answer he'd been looking for. He left the room in utter despair, planning to go find the butler and sign the agreement the next morning, to leave here forever. To see how miserable the man was, the first love deliberately sought him out, no longer pretending to be innocent and vulnerable. The man was horrified to learn that the kidnapping 3 years ago had all been the first love scheme. His 3 years of torture had been entirely arranged by the first love. The first love slapped him across the face, then smoothly collapsed to the ground, crying loudly. Hearing the commotion, the woman and their son rushed over. They immediately fussed over the first love. When he claimed the man had hit him, the woman didn't ask a single question, she just shoved the man, and that's how the